Guys, they did it. Sega finally made a game that's a worthy successor to Super Monkey Ball 2. 22 years later. But with this franchise's less than stellar reputation and Sega's marketing team dropping all these balls, our favorite monkey is left on life support. And it's absolutely banana. Excuse me, it's completely fucked. So I've never been that big a fan of 2D platformers, meaning I've also never really gotten into any Sonic games, leaving this peppy pile of shit to be the Sega mascot I had the most experience with growing up. And what a childhood, man. I remember opening up Super Monkey Ball 2 with our new GameCube Christmas morning and thinking, really, Mom? A monkey game? You f***ed up. I wanted Mario's Bloody Knuckles. But it quickly became one of my favorite games on the console. Something about tilting a maze-like stage to navigate a rolling ball to its goal is just so satisfying on a fundamental level.
It's like a party, but it's better than a party.
Originally coming from a literal arcade cabinet, the gameplay at its core was designed to appeal deceptively simple, but then it sucks all the tokens out of your pocket while you swear you're gonna make it this time. It was like having hundreds of those 3D ball maze toys, but on your TV in a crisp 480p. And the level design was through the roof. I mean, you can tell the team behind this game had endless amounts of fun coming up with all these crazy stages. The creativity here is top-notch and completely sadistic at times. The difficulty of some of these levels were absolutely grueling. There is nothing so mind-numbingly agonizing as hearing this for 2 hours straight with this stupid-ass monkey motherfucker. I swear to God, aye, if you don't wipe that smug grin off your damn face. But when you do finally reach the goal, you can go, oh, hey, I did it. And you get a little dopamine rush that's just good enough to keep you going even though it's 3 a.m. on a school night. So I guess that's point 1 for the monkey game. Yeah, I'll be honest, even back then the whole monkey shtick felt a little corny. Like, Mom, I'm 7 now. I don't want funny monkey game, I want to f*** some pussy. But she was right. I didn't need pussy, I just needed some monkey balls in my life. Move over, Funky Kong. There's a new coolest Kong in the jungle. When did we decide monkeys were cool in the first place? Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz. Have you ever wanted to just ruin your own legacy? How does a single game manage to fuck up a franchise so hard? Being a launch title for the Wii, Banana Blitz now features mandatory motion controls, requiring you to tilt the Wii remote in order to guide the monkey to the goal, or hell, even to navigate the damn menus. To account for this, the level design is dumbed down to baby's first banana. One of the main reasons fans fell in love with this game in the first place was just how insane the difficulty curve became. The stage design laughs in your face as you question your own sanity, but mastering the stage you've been stuck on for hours is satisfaction beyond belief. Then Banana Blitz comes along and adds guardrails and a jump button. Barely half the amount of stages to clear, even if you include the new boss battles nobody asked for. I guess they decided it was more important to include 50 mini-games that each have about the same depth as a backyard kiddie pool. Sure, the other Super Monkey Ball games had some mini-games packed in too, but they were actually worth playing. The arcade roots were completely stripped out of this game. It was clear this was not made to be a worthy successor to Super Monkey Ball 2. This was some kiddie shit for the casual player who wanted something to do with their new motion-based console after trying Wii Sports. And Banana Blitz offers just the thing. More of the same sports! It didn't even do that good a job at appealing to the casual market since the controls are so damn frustrating. When the stages do start getting difficult, it's mostly just you trying to fight a counterintuitive control scheme. But the worst part is, this approach seemed to work. Due to the Wii's massive popularity, this ends up becoming the best-selling Super Monkey Ball game. Banana Blitz was the first impression of this franchise to a huge number of players, who simply chalked it up as baby's first 3D platformer included as a tech demo to show off Nintendo's next gimmick. And for a while, that's all it was. Later on in the Wii's life, we get another entry in the series that now uses the Wii Balance Board as its main gimmicky way to control your monkey. There was also Touch and Roll, a game for the DS that used the touchscreen to control the ball. Sure, these games did offer the more standard control options this time around, but the level design was still built around a control scheme that's anything but simple and intuitive. And look, I don't mean to shit on anyone who did enjoy these games. If you did, that's great. But as a fan of the original direction these games had, day after day it became more clear that we were never gonna get another game quite like Super Monkey Ball or Super Monkey Ball 2, and that hurt. But then, rumors started to speculate about a possible reboot of the franchise when Sega renews its trademark. And this was around the time all the most iconic gaming mascots of the early 2000s were making a comeback. The Spyro trilogy, Crash Bandicoot, Pac-Man, Tony Hawk. Could this finally be the redemption to the series we've been waiting for? An HD remake of all the classic levels? Maybe a brand new set of stages entirely? Haha, nope. Banana Blitz HD. Out of all the games you could have chosen, hell, I would have taken Super Monkey Ball Adventure for the PSP over this. Seriously, this was probably the worst move they could have made. Sure, I guess the motion controls are back, but not if you bought it for PC. This time around, the default control method is to use an analog stick for stages designed around motion controls. That doesn't fix the problem, it just makes the game piss easy. And the controls feel equally as terrible with the joystick. The translated physics just feel clunky in a way where it's easy to overcorrect but hard to come to a complete stop. They didn't even use the original soundtrack because Sega apparently lost the rights to it. If anything, this port is just a flat-out worse experience than the original. But the sad reality was, this was pretty much all Sega was willing to fund. The source material coming from the Wii meant less work needed to be done to get this port finished over older titles. And that's all this really is. A port. I mean, just compare this to an emulated upscale version of the original for Wii. I even chose a different aspect ratio to make it easier to tell the difference. So I wouldn't chalk this up as a lazy remake, more so Sega just barely being willing to test the waters to see if there was any potential left in this franchise. But this was just such a scummy way to go about it. They held the Monkey Ball franchise for ransom to all of us fans and basically said if you ever want to see a real Monkey Ball game in the future, you gotta buy this shitty-ass port first. And so we did. And what did we get for it? An actually competent game. 2 years later, Sega drops Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. Okay, first off, terrible name. Like, I get it, you got Sonic Mania, and you got Super Monkey Ball Mania, but that's just it. Call it that. Banana was already used in the title of your last game. Don't you think that may get a little confusing? Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania? It just does a poor job at telling you what the game is, because this is exactly what we've been waiting for, holy shit. An HD remake of all the classic stages from Super Monkey Ball 1 and 2? Hell yeah, dude, that's what you should have given us this whole time. All the stages are coming back, tons of new characters to play as, online leaderboard support. This was almost too good to be true. And that's because it was. As soon as you're dropped into stage 1, something feels off. Where's the iconic music? It's an additional content sold as DLC, so you had the rights to the music this time around, but went out of your way to design new music to replace it with, knowing we would hate it, just so you can nickel and dime us to get it back. Oh my god, and they fucked up the controls again! Banana Mania was built off the engine used in Banana Blitz HD, meaning what we actually got were all the original stages remade in what's essentially a souped-up Banana Blitz engine. Gut-punchingly difficult stage design with the physics engine of a Wii Party launch title. Sounds great! Even the party games just feel wrong. Monkey Target is fucked up so bad, you can't even get your monkey to the target. Again, if you enjoyed these games, that's great. Good for you. But to me, this was the moment Super Monkey Ball felt like it truly died. We got what we wanted, right? We asked for an HD remake of all the old stages, and we got it. But every compromise along the way just solidified the sad truth that we truly are never going to get another game like Super Monkey Ball 2 again. Because what we got instead was Banana Mania. It's not like it's unplayable. The controls may be a little janky, but I still had some fun coming back to these old levels again, even if I did have to use cheater mode to clear some stages that are now basically impossible without it. But I was just left feeling a bit underwhelmed with the end result. And for me, this sour note was the end of the Super Monkey Ball legacy. Until the YouTube algorithm blessed me with the video from Antude talking about a brand new Monkey Ball game? How have I never heard about this until just now? No. Literally, I never even saw an ad for this. Was there no marketing around this game? So I played it. And guys, Antude was right. This is the best Monkey Ball game we've gotten in 20 years. Over 200 brand new stages with level design that goes back to its arcade roots of insane difficulty challenges. They actually listened to our feedback by adding literally the most comprehensive set of control options we've ever had. Honestly, my only real complaint is how there's barely anyone online to matchmake with. Why the hell is no one playing or even talking about this game? Well, maybe it's because it's called Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble. How the f is anyone supposed to know what the hell that even is? First you release Banana Blitz HD, an upscaled port of an old Wii game with extremely easy stage design and mechanics. Next there's Banana Mania, which is a complete remake of extremely challenging levels from the GameCube, with tacky controls that make it even harder. And now there's Banana Rumble, a set of 200 completely brand new levels of similar difficulty with fixed controls, but their focus is now on the fact that minigames have been replaced with a Fall Guys clone. Yup, Banana Rumble, what's not to get? Banana Blitz, Banana Mania, Banana Rumble, take your pick. They're all fucking bananas! These are such vastly different experiences with such painfully similar names. Banana Mania HD Blitz. Is that a sundae of misery or a sundae of fudge? And these are all on the same console too. Would it have killed you to just call it Super Monkey Ball Rumble? But nope, it just wouldn't be a Monkey Ball title without the word banana in it. Too bad it'll go on to be the worst selling banana on the Switch since nobody knows what the hell it is. And anybody who's already played a recent Monkey Ball game will just expect another hard to control soulless mess. Well, you know what? You could call it a monkey's fucking asshole for all I care. Because to me, this is, and always will be, the Super Monkey Ball 3 we've always wanted. Sega may not always make the right choices, but this time they did, and I think that should be rewarded. No, they didn't give it a good name, but they did give Monkey Ball Banana Game another great legacy by continuing to provide us hours of endless fun with these new stages that can now be played with up to 4 players online at the same time in a competitive race. How cool is that? So if you made it up to this point in the video, I have one request for you. Give Super Monkey Ball Rumble a chance. Help us save this franchise. Because seriously, I'm sick of having no one else to play against except Ant Dude, man. He can't race for shit.